Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail, and as you will see in a minute, I have a lot of company with me today. I have the person that I originally invited for today is Kelly Thornton. You want to wave to the camera, Kelly Thornton. She has a shelter called Small Town Shelter. Which is over in Sherman. Now, I also have, who you've seen on Fresh Perspectives before, I have Alisha Briggs, who is sitting next to Kelly, and next to me over here on this side is Alisha's daughter Ava, who you've seen on Fresh Perspectives a couple of times before. And so anyways, Kelly is presently, the stray dog commissioner?
I'm the dog control officer.
The dog control officer. Would you like to let the viewing audience know what areas that is in?
Yeah, I'm currently the dog control officer for Sherman, Clymer, French Creek, and Mina. And then I am contracted with Mayville and Ripley as well. So when the dog control officer from Mayville and Ripley get a dog, they come to me as well. So I have 6 townships, but I'm only the dog control officer for 4.
Oh, okay. So. Okay, but the shelter includes Ripley.
Yes.
And
Mayville. Well, town of Chautauqua.
Town of Chautauqua.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you had your shelter over in Sherman?
Well, I started 4 years ago. I was doing just trap neuter release for the cats in town. And then they approached me, the longtime dog control officer, Sandy Kokonowski, they thought she was having some health issues, so they brought me in as a secondary. Well, unfortunately, Sandy passed unexpectedly, so it all just kind of, so that's been about 2.5 years that I've been just kind of taking over and learning as I go, and so it's been quite a process. But the Humane Society had to cut back on the townships that they were serving. So it kind of left us with, where are our dogs going to go? So we ended up just deciding that we were going to do a shelter. So
okay.
We ended up opening.
Now you're talking about the one on Strunk Road that was needing help?
Yeah, they were overwhelmed. They had a lot of townships, and so they had to cut back a little bit. And I mean, these are all small towns, so our census is pretty low for the most part, unlike them who get dogs from everywhere all the time. So
okay. But you enjoy doing this, I take it.
Oh yeah, this has been my dream. This is what I've wanted to do my whole life. So.
Okay. Now, Kelly has brought, Kelly and Alisha and Ava are helping her today, and they have brought 2 puppies with them that are going to be up for adoption. These puppies are only 3 months old, believe it or not, as big as they are. Would you like to tell us what they're a combination of?
They are Husky Heeler. Mom is a Husky Heeler, and Dad is a Boxer Pit. So it's quite the mix. But
yeah, really mixed. Yeah. They're going to be big.
Oh yeah.
And okay, and tell the viewing audience what their names are.
This is Morgan. This is the girl. She's a little rambunctious, as you can see. And this guy right here is Daniel. He's super laid back, just super relaxed, just always just hanging around, taking everything in. So, but there were 12 of them that were born in my rescue. But everybody has found homes but these 2. So.
You're going to have them all spayed and neutered before
they're
up
scheduled
for adoption.
Yep.
Okay.
So they'll be available in July after their spay-neuter surgeries.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And then you have their parents at your shelter?
Yes. They came in on a cruelty case. I took them in, and the next day Mom went into labor and had 12 puppies. So it was quite a bit, really fast, but we got through. We weren't really equipped for 12 puppies, but we figured it out. So.
Oh yeah, you do what you have to do, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. So.
So let me think. Didn't you say that there's also a beagle over
Yes,
there?
we have Sunshine, who came from the same situation, and there was another dog, a puppy, who actually got adopted to a woman in Warren.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there were 4 adult dogs altogether, and then the 12 puppies were born in my care. So it was quite a big situation.
Yeah,
and
some dogs do have big litters, don't they?
Well, yeah. We went to bed and she had 7, so we thought, okay, 7 puppies, and then we got up the next morning and there were 12. So,
were they all colored like these ones?
Actually, there were some brown ones. Dad is brown, and there were some that looked just like him, and then there were some that had pretty much all white. They were pretty much completely white. The one had a little red around her eyes, but she was basically white. So.
Yeah, I don't know if those of you in the viewing audience can tell or not, but these puppies are speckled. It's just 2 shades of tan, really. It's the very light, and then it's the medium colored spots. So
He's sleeping.
but they're very pretty. They really are very pretty. Now you help the Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue?
No, they help me.
They help you. Oh, okay.
Yes, they've been very helpful through this process. I'm able to ask questions, and they'll bring me things that they don't have the ability to use. They'll donate it to my shelter.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Lakeshore Humane Society has been very helpful. The Anna Shelter in Erie has been great. Like I couldn't do this without the other rescues and their help, because it's been a lot and fast. So, they've been very supportive.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, Alisha, you would like to tell the viewing audience that you've changed the name of your rescue.
Yes, Little Angels Animal Sanctuary is now Snip, Tip, and Return, to reflect, our mission as it is now. Because, the name reflected that it was a sanctuary, and it's not a sanctuary per se. Our goal is to go through and take care of the homeless cats that are, having litters, and the feral cats that are having litters. In order to reduce the population altogether. So we wanted our name to reflect that.
And you said you're having trouble catching one because she knows how to avoid getting caught?
Yes. She's the only one that I've gotten a call about having a kitten this year. And it's just one. One kitten.
Oh, good.
But it's been the last 3 seasons that I've been trying to catch her, and she's still giving me the slip. She's really good at it. So I've tried every trap that I have to try to get her. It's actually Lola, my cat that I brought on the show's mom.
Oh.
And then she had a kitten named Peggy that was born without a foot.
Oh, gosh.
My other daughter, my oldest daughter, adopted her.
Oh, did she?
So we're just adopting all of her kittens. It's fine.
And Ava is pulling a kitten out of the cat carrier. I don't imagine you've given these babies names yet.
No.
Oh, no.
They are 3 or 4 weeks old, they tell me.
And I actually missed Mom last year. I couldn't trap her last year.
Oh, is that right?
She had a litter
for
last
these
year,
ones?
yeah. But this year we finally got her and the babies, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. So,
I don't know if you can hear, but this one's hissing a lot.
yeah. They're not really used to people yet, are they?
No.
No, they need lots of snuggles to get used to us.
Yeah. That is a cute little kitten. Yeah, they've been hissing at us ever since they got here this morning. They're not ready to be adopted yet, but they're very, very cute.
Oh, he wants his toy. He's watching his
So,
sister.
your shelter is still very full then, I take it?
Oh, yeah.
Alisha.
We have how many cats on the cat side? 45?
Yeah, 45.
45.
Yep.
Yep, and then we have 5 dogs currently. So
5 dogs and 45 cats.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cats.
it is.
And you know, the biggest thing is we're looking for barn homes for some of these cats because they're not social. But it wasn't a safe place for them to go back to where they were trapped at. You know, sometimes whether neighbors were threatening to poison them or harm them in any way.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't want to put those back. So we're looking for barn homes for them to place them, so they, because they'll be happier outside. They're not happy inside. We do have a catio there, so they can go outside, in a fenced-in area, but they would prefer to be able to run and roam.
So a catio is a patio for cats.
Yeah.
We have chicken wire up
Yeah,
around.
where they can go outside, but nobody can get at them, and
Right.
they can't get away.
And the
so-
birds are safe.
And the birds are safe.
Yeah.
So cats really do like being outside. Yeah. So that's really nice. Do you guys have any ideas for somebody who might like to build a catio for their cats?
It's basically just kind of like a chicken coop.
Is it?
That's basically all that I did. We built I already had the porch, so we just put chicken wire from each,
Each opening.
right,
Yeah.
and we covered it with chicken wire, and we put a couple shelves in it so the cats can go up and down, and it's wonderful.
So you kind of have to have a cover over it,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because otherwise
They
cats
climb.
would be able to climb right
Yeah,
out.
they definitely climb. So
Yeah. I wanted to show those of you in the viewing audience this comic strip I cut out a few weeks ago because it was so cute. I'll read it. I'll read it. Let's see, maybe I can read it without. The dog says, "Who's that, Mooch?" And Mooch the cat, the black cat there, says, "That's Lily, my foster kitty." And the dog, I think the dog's name in this comic strip is Earl, but they don't mention his name here. And he goes, "You're what?" And Mooch says, "You go to your local shelter, and before a pet gets adopted, you can provide him or her temporary care in a loving home environment." And the dog says, "And how do you do that?" And Mooch says, "You treat them nice, play with them, eat with them, nap with them, and be buddies." And the dog says, "That sounds exactly like what you do with me." And Mooch says, "Yes, you were my first foster failure." Now, this really got me because I know when I've had people from the Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue on, they all talk about having been foster failures at different times. Would you like to tell a viewing audience what a foster failure is?
A foster fail is we don't have necessarily the room for animals, so we will send them into foster homes. And many times the people fall in love and they never come back to the rescue. That is a foster fail. I actually don't have any fosters right now because they were all foster fails.
The foster families adopted.
They did.
Yeah.
I've really had a lot of families were like, we're just going to keep it,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, I know Patty Benton that works at the Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue. I think it was a little over a year ago, her and her husband were fostering a little dog that had been brought from a shelter out of state somewhere. And she agreed to, foster it at her home. She has other pets that are their own pets. And as time went on, that person never came and adopted the little dog. And so she finally asked about it because she goes, we're getting really attached to this little girl. So what happened was she and her husband adopted the dog. The other person had changed their mind and decided not to come and get her. So
Yep. I have one at my house who
You have one at
I
your house?
intended to adopt him out, but he bonded with me. He really only likes me, so he's mine
Oh,
now.
he really only liked you, not other people.
No, he doesn't like anybody but me.
He particularly does not like me.
Really?
yeah. So
What kind of a dog is that? Would that be?
he's a little terrier mix
A
of some
little
sort.
terrier mix?
Yeah, he's very small. He's smaller than my cats actually. So, but yeah, he came in. I took him from a person who couldn't have them because of their housing situation, and it was supposed to be temporary, and he never ended up being able to take the dog back. So it was kind of like, all right, well, you can stay here.
by
Chase
that,
me.
by
And
that
chase-
time,
and chase
you were
Alisha.
you were good buddies with each other.
Yeah.
So I know we're always telling stories like this on here. Okay, so what do you want to say about your snip, tip, and return?
We recently contracted with the town of Busti, so we're expanding, to cover more areas than just Mayville. Because as a project kind of gets cleaned up and it's more of a maintenance thing, we want to start a new project so that we can, get these type of programs throughout the county to try to, help with these issues.
Do you need more people? Could you use more volunteers to help?
Absolutely. Always, because it's
Please.
usually just us and the kids. We get our kids to do to help us.
But my kids are growing up and moving out, so we're stuck with just Ava and Kendra. They're all we have left. So
Ava and Kendra are
Kendra's my daughter.
your daughter,
Yeah.
and Ava
Yeah.
is Alicia's daughter.
They're the
okay.
babies, so they're all we
Yeah.
have left to help.
Okay. If somebody wants to volunteer to be a volunteer to help you, how can they get in touch with you?
I have a Facebook, Small Town Shelter, but my phone number is super easy. It's 716-224-2244.
I noticed that,
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
got it for me so I could, so that I could contact you. Did you think you'd ever wind up being on television over this?
No, no, I actually was in the paper too, which, it floored me. I never planned for this to take off the way that it did, and I hope that it continues to go well and we can really do great things. So,
Well,
yeah.
you can come on more often. You don't have to just come on once a year or anything. You can come on again in the fall if you want
All
to.
right,
You'll probably
perfect.
have a whole different a bunch of cats and dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
You never really know
So-
what we're gonna have. Every
so-
day is different.
We don't
so.
know what we're gonna have.
Yeah, you ladies told me that, which is something I didn't know before. I knew last year that the cats that are known as Torbies are always female.
Yep.
And when I was talking to Kelly one day on the phone, she told me that the orange cats are usually male,
Yes.
which is something I didn't know before. So
Yeah, if they're all orange tabby and they don't have a lot of white on them or white at all, it's 20% chance that they will be female and 80% chance they will be male. But if they have that white, belly or anything, the percentages changed, and it could be.
if they
male or
have
female.
white on them, the
Yeah.
percentages
Yeah.
change.
The ones that
Okay.
are solid orange are
Oh,
typically
okay.
typically male.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that before. And the calicos are always female
Yeah.
too.
That's extremely rare, and tortoiseshells, torbies, they're usually female. It's very rare to have one that's male. It makes national news when they do.
Yeah.
Oh,
There have been some. But
there have been some,
Yeah.
but it's very, very rare.
There is a female tortoiseshell in Ripley.
Is there?
Yep. Or a
male.
male tortoiseshell in Ripley. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, but most of the tortoise shells are female.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
quite pretty, the way they're a whole bunch of different colors that just blend into each other.
Yeah. Yep.
We call it tortitude because they usually have an attitude too,
Oh, they have an attitude?
or they're
Oh,
very
yeah.
chatty.
Oh, they're very chatty?
and demanding.
Yes, yes.
We have a black cat that is very chatty. You know.
Why don't you set that on the floor, honey?
Aren't the Siamese very chatty? Or am I wrong about
You know, I
that?
have two, and the one is super quiet. You never hear anything from
Really?
Hawaii. But then I have another one named Surprise, and she'll sit at the door and meow, let me out, give me pets, I want food. You know, she's usually only vocal if she has a need that needs to be met. Otherwise, you don't really hear much from her. So, but they have a distinct meow. It's different.
The Siamese do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, is there, do you know if there's some sort of, look at that.
I'll take one too, Ava.
And,
You'll have to, this is one.
You can give me the hiss.
I'm getting distracted here with all of the babies. Now, are they somehow related to each other, the Siamese cats and the Himalayans? Because they have those darker points
Yeah.
like on them.
I'm not really sure how that works.
I don't either.
That's like a whole genetic thing that I haven't really researched very much yet, but I know there are Himalayan Siamese, but I don't know if there's Himalayan other colors. Those aren't something you get
because,
often.
I mean, they're colored alike, but the Siamese are short-haired and the Himalayans are long-haired.
Right,
so.
right. But yeah, I think the genes determine if they're short or long hair, and the color is also determined by another set of genes. So
He's reversing and hissing at me.
He likes to walk backwards. It's the thing he does.
This one does?
No,
No,
this
that
one, he
one.
was crawling up my shoulder backwards while hissing.
Will you stop grabbing
You
my
know,
shirt?
I love
Thank
it
you.
when I see cats and dogs interacting with each other. It can be so funny. We had a cat many years ago, this short-haired black cat. Her name was Missy. She lived to be 18 years old, but there was a couple of different times over the years that she lived with us that we adopted a puppy, and she would always help us train the puppy.
yeah, yep.
And the last time we adopted a puppy while she was alive, and this was when the puppy was about a year old, and it was about a year before the cat died. She was training the dog. She was training the dog, trying to train the dog anyway, to catch mice. She kept, you know how they do that with their kittens.
Yeah.
She wanted to make sure, I guess, that the dog was going to be able to take care of itself.
Well, yeah.
And she was bringing mice in like that to the dog.
Yep.
And you know, that dog, she did a really good job of training that dog. When the rest of that entire dog's entire life, she would try, like one time there was this one dog that a neighbor of ours had, a little tiny dog. The dog we had was a really big one. And I remember there was this little dog that used to run away from home and arrive at our house, somebody that lived a short distance up the road from us. And that dog would pull vegetables out of the garden and try to feed them to that little dog. And one time when I was, this elderly lady that I knew, I had her come over to my house. I was going to give her lunch at my house. We were going to have tomato sandwiches. And I brought her over to my house, and when we got out of the car, here comes the dog with a bone that she's trying to give to this elderly lady. I mean, she was just like that, you know, for her entire life. And it's because the cat trained her to feed
Right. That's what cats do.
other animals and people.
Yeah.
So,
That's why cats bring you mice, because they're like, you are not good at hunting. Let me help you. You know?
Yeah.
That's why they bring them to you. Like, I had a cat when I was a kid, and she always would get moles, and she'd leave them right where I step to get out of bed in the morning. So there was more than once that I stepped on her prize.
In your bare feet?
Yes,
yes.
But she was telling me, you're not hunting good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our cat, you can kind of tell if she's seen a mouse in the house when you're in bed at night trying to sleep, because all of a sudden there's all this commotion with the cat running all over the place, and then you'll find a mouse in the morning.
Yep, and they'll watch the wall because they can hear the mice in the wall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, I've noticed that they will sit and stare. You usually can tell if they've spotted a mouse if they sit and stare, maybe at a hole in the ground, you know, a rodent hole of some sort in the ground if they're outside, or, you know, if they've seen a mouse go behind a piece of furniture, they'll hang out there and just stare, and they have so much patience. They'll they will just sit there and wait for whatever it is to come out so they can catch it.
Funny story though, I have all those cats in my rescue. I actually had a mouse this winter in the rescue.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, cats they just shared with the mouse.
Oh, they did?
Yep.
Oh.
So my cats are obviously well fed because they don't feel the need to hunt.
And these are the 46 cats that you were talking?
Of the 44. They're in the rescue,
Yeah, so. Wow. Well, isn't there something about if they're not with their mother long enough for their mother to train them to hunt, there can be a problem?
Well, I don't know. I think every cat just has a different prey drive, kind of like dogs. You know, some dogs don't like cats. You know, I just think that each animal has their own prey drive that varies. So.
Look at that cute little baby.
I know.
Isn't it tempting, you know, to see baby kittens?
They'll be available after they're spayed and neutered and have all their shots.
Yeah.
I think all of these cats have found their favorite person because that one was going crazy when I had her. Him.
Or it's the dogs.
Cats are like that. They do have their favorite people.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this cat that we have, when we first got her, well, actually, I adopted her from the Thrifty Kitty, and she was actually already a couple days overdue for vaccinations and stuff. So she was like 2.5 years old at the time that we adopted her, and so of course I was the person who had to take her to the veterinarians.
Oh yeah.
Okay, she didn't like that. So who did she warm up to the quickest? My husband.
Yeah.
At that time, she perceived me to be the person that took her to veterinary appointments.
Right, she associated you with that negative experience for sure.
Yeah, because they don't really necessarily like to go.
No,
but
we have some that love it. Like we have ones that will open the carrier and they're like, "Where are we going?" and they'll hop right in there, you know. But then you got the other ones that are like, "Just leave me alone. I'm in my cubby. I'm hiding." So
yeah,
and we captured how many cats did it end up being? 16 cats.
Yeah.
In order to update their rabies vaccines.
Oh, okay.
The feral ones.
The feral ones.
That are inside the
that
building.
are in the rescue.
Okay, so you actually keep track of the feral animals that have been spayed and neutered.
Oh yeah, we have
Yes.
to keep their records updated.
And so they do have to be recaptured every
3 years.
Every 3 years.
It depends on, so these ones are in the building. They're the ones that can use the catio that are waiting for barn homes. So they did get, you know, as long as they're within the facility, they have to have updated vaccines. So we had to recapture them inside the facility, which was fun.
Oh, gosh.
We were knocking stuff over.
Days of trapping, kennels fell on us.
Yeah, it was
Oh, no.
just so we could get them some shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, these girls work really, the people that work at shelters do work really hard. I do have to say that I admire them. I can handle maybe having a few pets, but, you know, people who work in shelters where there's quite a lot of them, I have to say, I have to admire all of you for being able to, having the courage to do that.
I will tell you, I was struggling a little bit, so that's why Alisha and I decided to team up, because for me to do the dogs and the cats and the trapping, and it was just too much. So we kind of brought her in, and she's like heading up all of the TNR stuff and you know, stuff like that, and that gives me time to focus on the dogs and finding the dogs homes, and you know, I mean, I still do a lot with the cats, but it's not solely on me anymore, which has been a big help. So
Yeah.
And I'm remodeling the shelter
Yes,
at the
and
same
she's
time.
making the shelter look amazing. So
Oh, you're remodeling her shelter.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
She had all the supplies already. She just
I
didn't have
just
the
didn't have
time.
time.
Yeah, okay, so you are kind of in carpentry expert too?
Oh no, it's mostly just like tiling
Oh.
and like rearranging things, and yeah, no, I'm not a carpenter. You do not want me to do any carpentry work.
And she's really good with like paperwork. I'm terrible. I just have stacks everywhere. And she'll be like, no, we're going to hang these up, and this is going to go here, and that's going to go there, which has been great because my paperwork was a mess when she came in. So.
Okay, so Alicia's a professional organizer then, okay.
Only with paperwork, not
Only-
the rest of my life.
Not for the rest of your life. So,
What are you doing?
well, I'm glad that, had you known each other for a long time before that?
Since birth,
We might be related.
Oh, you're related?
Yeah.
we're cousins.
Oh, you're cousins. Oh, okay.
That's why we click so well, I think. That's why we work together so well, because we're really similar, actually. So
Yeah, I was.
And you know, it's a family thing, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, are you related on your mom's or dad's?
Dad's side for
Well,
me, and for her, it's her mom's side.
Yeah.
Okay, your mom and her dad are sister and brother?
My dad is her mom's uncle,
Yeah.
Oh,
So we're
oh,
second cousins.
your dad is her
grandma's brother.
grandma's brother.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and Paul is related
Yes.
to us as well.
Paul is also our relative.
To both of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's her aunt, my cousin. So
Oh, okay.
it's a family affair.
Okay.
It really is.
Okay. Look at that cute little face.
Only our family is crazy enough to open shelters.
And you love it, don't you, Ava?
Her kitty's on a diet. He had to get an auto feeder to try to control his weight.
This one?
No, my
not,
cat.
not the kitten, her
Oh,
personal
her
cat.
personal cat.
Her
He
personal
weighs
cat.
17 or 18 pounds. He's
Yeah.
a fat boy.
You know,
Okay, I'm hooking you. Hold
my
on.
cat
It's okay.
doesn't gain weight, but I have to be really careful about her portion size. About her portion size, because if I do give her a little bit too much of something, she'll eat it all, she won't ration it, and then throw up the
Yeah.
excess.
Yep, that's what they do.
Yeah, Baloo did that this morning.
Oh, really? Ate too much and then threw up.
That's what he does.
That's why I love the
he stress
ferals,
eats.
because they don't overeat. Like, I can free feed in the rescue.
Okay,
And I mean, I do
What
have
are we doing?
2 that are struggling with their weight, but they were house cats. So,
Oh, I see.
But the rest, the ferals are pretty good about, you know, not overeating. They are pretty clean for the most part. So,
You're a little cutie pie.
this one is
You're
too.
a little cutie pie. I'm tempted to want to give them names.
I've been using a name generator because I've just named so many cats I'm running out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, I have Christy. Her name is Christy, and she helps with my adoptions and, you know, cleaning and stuff like that. And so we've been calling her, what do you want to name this cat? Because we're both out of names. So Christy's named the last couple for us because we're just, you can only do so many, you know.
And she named Duchess that I brought
Yeah,
in
yeah.
from Mayville.
And queso.
Yeah, you can go to other languages to get.
I
yeah.
did that already
Names.
too.
Yeah, you know, I one time when I was at a used book sale at a library, I bought, even though I, was too old to have more children, I bought a name book and took it home so that I'd be able to pick out names for future
I
That's
do
what we
get on
need to.
Facebook or online, and I do go to pet names, but most of them we've already used, and we don't like to duplicate names because then we're going through records and we're like, oh, Mama Kitty 1, Mama Kitty 3, Mama Kitty 7, and so we try not to duplicate names, but a lot of the times they come named, and like Luna is a big one.
I was gonna say that's the biggest offender
Yes,
is Luna.
Callie is a big one.
Yeah,
It's-
I've noticed a lot of people like to name their pets Luna these days. There's a dog in our neighborhood that is named Luna.
There's probably one in most neighborhoods. It's very common.
It's very, very common these days. You are just a handful. You're so tiny.
I know, who knew the
Just
puppies
a
would take a nap and it'd be the kittens?
I know.
So cute. You are so cute.
They were completely out.
I love
it. This one's getting friendlier, the one that likes to swat at us.
It just hissed.
I moved my hand. I twitched it. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
We could name this one Tabby.
Oh, we have those too.
Yeah, Tabby's
those.
another big one.
And
Yeah.
Nala.
Yeah,
Nala.
Nala.
I think Lucky is kind of popular, isn't it?
I have not ever had a cat named Lucky.
I think it's
Really?
because we just avoid it.
I think maybe that's more a dog name. I have met cats whose owners had named them Lucky.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Sometimes I just name them after the people.
Yeah, it's easier.
Because then I'm like, oh, I remember where this cat came from. Because, and it's funny because Jordan from NCCR, we just took a feral in for her to get fixed, and we named it Northern. So then we
Northern?
remember that it's Jordan from Northern Canine Rescue, because my cousin's name is Jordan too, so we didn't want to confuse them.
And when they called me just before the big storm in Buffalo, Marcia from NCCR called me to ask me if I could take a cat. I named the cat Marcia so that I would remember where it came from.
Well, one time when a stray cat showed up at my mother's house, quite a number of years ago, this was many years ago, and my brother decided to adopt it, rather than taking it to the shelter, and he named it after my mother, whose name was Pauline.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so that was the cat's name was Pauline.
We do that a lot.
Yeah. Well, then it also kind of helps us remember where they came from.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, those two are hovering around each other. Whoops.
Well, actually, when they trapped the last two, the last two, one kitten was in the trap and the other kitten was curled up beside the trap, touching the cat in the trap.
Oh,
It was so
What are you doing?
precious.
Okay.
yeah.
No one wants you now. Okay.
Yeah, you love your brothers, don't you?
I'm just venturing over.
But don't jump off the table. We don't
We
want.
don't want that.
You're too little to jump that far.
Yeah, I don't think kittens always land on their feet.
Oh, I get the hiss. That one loves me.
That one has a mustache.
I know, I love it. It's a tiny little mustache.
Yeah.
It's so mad.
there's a hiss.
You're coming back over to me. You must have decided you liked me.
Now I'm kittenless.
Poor
way to go,
Ava.
Ava.
That one doesn't like me.
Let me
Oh,
try.
look, it's hissing.
Come here, you.
Yeah, these are fresh, spicy kittens.
Spicy.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
spicy.
Look, it's a dog.
I love this. This is my favorite part.
The
They are
dog
being
part?
so
Oh, when
good.
they're
They're
laying down
napping.
and sleeping?
We are not
It's very
venturing off the
rare
table.
that they both nap at the same time.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
This is amazing.
Usually one's
Hi
napping
there.
and the other one's
Hi
terrorizing the
there.
one that's
Are you gonna
napping by
hiss at
pulling
me?
on it or
Yeah,
biting
eating
its
its
tail.
harness.
You little cutie pies.
I'm creepy.
They're not hissing at me anymore. That must mean they have decided they think I'm not going to hurt them.
And if you move too quick, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
they just, it's just a response that they have.
Well, one thing that I've always noticed about cats is if you hang around outside with your cats, they will go for walks with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Some people who are witnessing it for the first time, like maybe they've never had a cat before and the cat follows them.
Right.
If they go for a walk and the cat follows them, they think it's something really unique and unusual.
Right.
My cat goes for walks with me, but it's actually normal cat behavior to
Yeah.
go for walks with your people. So I wind up explaining that to people, and they'll go, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
And then some people, other people that I've noticed, think that cats and dogs are like, if they've like, for example, only had dogs,
Right.
but never cats, they'll think that, oh, she's got all three of them now.
Yeah.
They're all with just one person. Look at how cute they look.
Mom, can I have the little mustache one?
We gotta kiss this.
The middle one's the mustache one.
I'm like, I
He's
don't even
hissing
know.
at you.
Yeah.
You want,
You're so cute. You have a mustache.
Oh, you're coming straight to me. I'm sorry.
There's a hiss for you.
He just hissed at you. Now he hissed at me, and I didn't even do anything, and he hissed at me. So, but anyway, what was I saying? I went and got distracted by the
You were talking about walking cats.
Oh yeah, walking cats. People just think that's so unusual. Oh, I know what it was. It was some people thought the dogs and cats were enemies of each other.
Yeah.
But we have always, my husband and I have always had both cats and dogs,
Yeah.
and they've always gotten along with each other.
Yep, and
But
it's
I think maybe dogs that are not raised
right around cats.
cats, maybe, but
And there are certain breeds that are more likely to dislike cats. But I've also seen those breeds live with 3 or 4 cats. So I mean, it really is. It's when they grew up, if they grew up together, how the people are. I mean, if you're really stressed, every time the dog and cat are together, they're going to pick up on that stress, and that's when you start having issues. But I mean, if you just kind of let them do their thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's 100%, but they definitely pick up on human stress too. So that's a factor.
yeah, I've noticed that they pick up on the English language quite well. Cats and dogs do. It's amazing how much they as time goes by, they seem to get more and more literate.
Yeah. Oh, we're not friends.
Hey, you.
Oh,
hey,
the
you,
kitten's
give me.
puffed up.
Yeah. The kitten's like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
This one's about to go to
Done
sleep.
napping.
That's good.
Mojo done napping.
This one's hissing at me still. This is how we teach them to trust humans. Just keep snuggling them and handling them, and eventually they won't hiss at us.
Yeah.
Mom actually let us pet her last night.
Yep.
Both of us.
Oh, and she's normally a feral?
Well, we weren't really sure. They had to trap her because she's not the kind of cat you can pick up. But she's calming down more and more every day, and she's blinking at us, which is a sign that she's trusting us. And
Yeah, that blinking. Do you want to tell the viewing audience about that blinking? I call it flirting.
yeah,
Where they go. They look like they have a smile on their face, and they'll look up at you and they'll start blinking their eyes. I guess it's supposed to be their way of saying I love you.
it is, or I trust you. Same when a cat rolls over on its back. Cats don't do that because that's where all of their major organs are. So if they're rolling over on their back and letting you pet their belly, they really trust you.
Some of them, though, I have had cats that will tempt you by rolling over on your back, and they will sink their claws into you if you dare to. I had one cat. He was a very long-haired cat, we named him Persia, spelled P-U-R-R, Persia. And
Always getting a drink.
is there something delicious to drink in there?
I'm thirsty.
Okay, you can have my water. It's fine. Take my water now.
I guess he's thirsty. So
How do you walk over this?
so anyways,
Where will he go to? Hopefully not me.
Not me, because I have doggies.
look at you.
Off the table, apparently.
Look at you.
You want to come sit with your brother? No, he wants to go to his brother.
Look at him.
It's just a game of who wants to go where.
What are those?
Well, anyway, Persia would let you rub his tummy.
But even just the act of rolling over on their back, whether they let you pet them or not, that's a risk you're going to take. But just them even like showing that part of their body, it means that they know you're not going to hurt them. So
Yeah, some of them, on the other hand, will do it on purpose, and then when you start to rub their tummy, they sink
Right.
their claws into your
Right.
hands.
it's a game.
One veterinarian, I was telling that to a veterinarian about this one cat that I had one time, and she goes, yeah, she referred to it as bait and attack.
yes, yes, for sure.
Okay, now, how can they get a hold of you, people in the viewing audience, if they want to adopt one of the animals that you've got, or some problem with an animal?
Like I said, I have a Facebook page. It's Small Town Shelter. But my phone is always on 24/7. I never turn it off because, being DCO, I could get calls in the middle of the night or whatever. And like I said, my phone number is 716-224-2244. Our email is smalltownshelter@gmail.com if you prefer to, use that. But really, Facebook messaging and texts are the best because our lives are so busy. It's just easier to respond to a text opposed to stopping what we're doing to answer a call,
Yeah.
But sometimes people really need to be able to explain, and that would, you'd need a phone call, but.
Apparently the cats just want to steal our water.
I know, they're thirsty.
Yeah, you're thirsty, aren't you, you cute little cutie
Nice
pies?
water.
Yes, you are.
Here you go.
I think this one is starting to enjoy being petted here.
Oh, this one loves being pet. It keeps about to be falling asleep, but then I laugh, and then it wakes back up.
Just don't move too fast. Life is
Oh,
good.
that's what I was starting to say that I got distracted from was when I go for a walk with a cat, you were saying something about how they'll kind of jump, if you move all of a sudden or something. If I step on something, like a stick or something that makes a snapping noise, all of a sudden they are on high alert.
Yes.
All of a sudden, as soon as they hear that noise, they'll jump and turn around and look in the direction the noise was coming from. And
Yep, because cats are, especially outdoors, they can be prey very easily. So I feel like cats are always on guard when they're outside. Just because there's so many hazardous things out there. So I do definitely think they have a higher. Whereas dogs are a little more, whatever, it's whatever.
So you guys feel that as much as possible, people should keep their cats indoors if they don't have a catio?
I'm an advocate for keeping cats inside, just because there's so many dangers out there for cats. But I do also know there's some cats that you're just not going to keep inside. We actually have one right now. She only has 3 legs.
3 legs?
Yeah, she's
one was amputated?
Yeah, they had to amputate it when she was a kitten. But you bring her inside and she will eat your screen. She does not want to be inside. But right now she had an ear hematoma, so we have to keep her in because she has stitches, and she's just so mad. Like every time the door opens, she wants to bolt. And we'd love to keep her in, but that's just not her nature. So.
An ear hematoma is what then?
Basically, it's from her shaking her head. They get it's filled with fluid, like a bump. So what the vet had to do, well, we drained it once, but it just filled right back up. So the vet ended up having to cut the ear so it would stop filling up, and then he stitched it back together. So now her ear kind of droops, but it just kind of adds to her character with her 3 legs and droopy ear now. So
Oh, well, tell me, is that a type of cancer or
No.
It's just
it's an injury.
It's an injury.
Yeah, it's like if
a
you
bruise.
hit, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
like
it's
a
like if you
bruise
hit
that
your
fills up.
shin and it fills up with fluid. That's a hematoma. It's kind of the same thing.
Oh,
So,
that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually had those.
Yeah.
On my legs a couple of times. When I had little accidents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, she had one in her ear from flicking her head, but she's the village's Sherman kitty. Like, I've had her for 2 weeks now, and I'm telling you, about once a day someone asks about her. Because everyone knows who she is. I mean, how many 3-legged cats do you see running around, So, and I did a fundraiser to pay for her vet care, and I raised about $75 of the bill, which was great.
Oh, good.
But that's just because everyone knows her, so. Stop eating my shoe.
It's a yummy shoe.
This one fell
Is there
asleep.
water in here? Do you want a drink?
This one fell asleep on me.
Oh, how cute.
I bet everybody goes home and takes a big nap.
Yeah, probably.
Probably not this one.
Oh, look at
Aww. Meanwhile, this puppy's eating my shoe.
says it's what I do.
I know.
Yeah, this one is dead asleep.
You want more water, honey?
Yeah, I
doing?
remember pet sitting for some friends one time and waking up in the morning to find that they had like 4 dogs at the time. And I remember waking up in the morning to find that somebody had been chewing on, I had changed into my pajamas when I stayed overnight at their house to pet sit, and woke up in the morning to find that somebody had chewed on my shoe and my shirt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mom.
Oh boy. Yeah, nothing is safe at my house, ever. If a cat doesn't chew it, a dog will. Like, we just know to take care of our shoes, to, make sure there's nothing out. I try to buy the dogs lots and lots and lots of chew toys because otherwise it's my things. So,
You just about have to keep your closet doors closed all the
well,
time.
we
and
have a
everything.
no animal in our room rule.
Oh, in
it's
your bedroom, yeah.
Yeah, because that's where we keep everything that we don't want destroyed, and But I mean, the dogs still sleep with us, but that's only at night. So,
What kind of advice would you give a person who is looking to adopt an animal? Do you kind of advise them to adopt one that fits in with their lifestyle?
Absolutely. If you're really active, you like to hike, there's breeds that, the healer is one of them. They need to be moving. They need to have a job. They need to, but then there's the dogs that are more laid back that, they're fine with laying at your feet or whatever, But I always recommend thinking it through, meeting several dogs. Don't just meet the first dog and say, you're it, because you just want to go with who you click with, basically. And I really feel that people know pretty much right away who they click with, who they don't. But yeah, you definitely want your dog to match your lifestyle. So.
This one's still sleeping on me. Do they know? Feral cats don't usually fall asleep on people or around people.
Oh, feral kittens are different.
Yeah. They're
Well,
not
these
really feral.
are so young yet.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
not.
that's true.
Yeah.
They haven't lived there an entire year or anything.
Right.
Not around people. So.
Right. Yeah.
So they're being really socialized here this morning. You have blue eyes. They're so beautiful. Blue eyes. Now,
That will change, though.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I wish they'd stay, but they change.
7 or 8 weeks they change.
Yeah. There's only a few varieties of cats that
do have
have
blue.
blue eyes. Yeah.
Yep. There's a couple, like Siamese can have blue eyes, white cats can have blue eyes. I don't think I've ever seen a black cat with blue eyes,
Sorry,
but
I woke you
No,
up.
I don't think
Yeah.
I have.
I'm sorry, I woke you up. I know. I'm
They
terrible.
might, but I don't know.
I just haven't met one yet.
Yeah.
He's the most relaxed.
Mine.
This one?
No,
That one?
I just woke him up. Did he just yawn?
Or his.
He's
I think he just
he's
yawned.
watching his brother that's sleeping on Ava.
You
He's
guys-
probably thinking, move over.
Yeah,
I wanna
maybe
cuddle.
he wants to cuddle with you too.
This one's finally relaxed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
You just fell
cats,
asleep on me, but okay.
if you already have a cat and you want to adopt another one, there's a certain process that you have to go through too to get them used to each other. Like,
I will let Alisha elaborate on that.
So we recommend that you let them, keep one in a bedroom, probably the new one for a while, and let them sniff each other under the door, and maybe encourage toy play under the door over time. I'd give it about 2 weeks. A lot of people will get a cat home and they just introduce it to their other cat, and then it's a bad experience. And I'm like, that's because they didn't have time
they didn't
to
have
acclimate.
time to
Yeah.
get acquainted in their own
Yeah.
way.
And,
Yeah.
cats are territorial. It's, in their nature. So you have to let them, get used to the idea that there's another smell, there's another cat, running around.
Yeah, I kind of find it hard to believe, but I've read that our cats recognize us by our smell.
Yes.
And I'm thinking that I find it so hard to believe that they don't know what we look like.
Yeah, actually, if your cat gets outside, like it's an indoor cat and it gets outside, they recommend putting their litter pan and one of your shirts outside to kind of use the
draw
scent to
them
bring them back.
draw them back in.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're not climbing off
And
the
what should
table.
a person do if a pet of theirs goes missing?
On my Facebook page, people call all the time and they'll say, my cat got out here, my dog got out here, and I'll post them. With dogs, I recommend calling all the local shelters, and if it's been a couple days, I recommend putting flyers up. You can do the same with cats too, but cats generally won't leave the area. So you can set a trap to get your cat back, whereas dogs will run for miles. But I mean, you can do the same. You can put flyers up, whatever. But my very favorite thing is when people's dogs take off and they call me. And they say, hey, just so you're aware, our dog got away. Because then I know if somebody calls me and says, hey, I have this dog, I can say, oh, it's so-and-so's, And same with cats, too, especially with us trapping and releasing. It's nice to know what cats belong where and whatnot. And actually, they just changed the law in Sherman, and they're going to have them start licensing the cats. So then...
Oh, are they?
Well, when we go in that way, we say, oh, okay, this person has 3 cats licensed, only if they go outdoors. And then we're going to know that that's somebody's cat. It's just going to kind of help us keep track of new
Are
cats
they
showing
going to
up.
have to wear a collar?
No.
Because I was going to say, I don't think a lot of cats wouldn't like that.
Sherman is small, and I have 2 colony feeders, and generally the new cats will show up at the colonies. So the colony feeders will call me. I actually got a call this morning. I'm going to go pick a cat up when I get home. But they'll call, and then they help me keep everyone spayed and neutered. And if there's a new cat in the area, we figure out where it belongs. And
Well, real quick, Alisha, because we're at the end of the program, but do you want to give out your information then, real quick?
Yep, we're on Facebook under Snip, Tip, and Return, and our phone number is 716-224-2259, and our email is sniptipreturn@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on and bringing so many animals with you. It was kind of like having a circus on Fresh Perspectives today. I really have enjoyed this, and I'll see those of you in the viewing audience on the next episode. Hi there, cutie.